Hi guys. Well, based on your feedback, what I've tried to do is make a Unit 5 video that's hopefully a little bit shorter. It pauses to allow you to try out new things, so try to have a blank spreadsheet ready. We'll get there in a second. I'll help you with that if you need it. And let's see, and I trimmed out some of the things that we can trim out because we're trying to keep things as simple as we can since we're not in the classroom together. Let's see if this is going to work better. Also, this is going to be centered around Google Sheets. Even though these directions are originally in Excel, we're going to try them out in Google Sheets. All right, let's see how this goes. Our objectives are to build addition and subtraction formulas, build multiplication and division formulas. You've already gotten a head start with some of these, right? It's like the plus sign and the shift 8, the asterisk, you know. We're going to talk about a few basic functions, but we know some, but we're going to learn about average, min, max, and count to see what they do. We're going to learn how to show and hide, which is one I forgot to check, so we'll find that together. And how to change decimal places. And then there was a layout ribbon in Excel. That's one of the things we're going to cross out. Another thing we crossed out was templates. So maybe we'll talk about those someday. Probably not. That's okay. That rhymed. So if you could open a blank new spreadsheet in Google Sheets, it says create in the top left. If you go to your Drive account, which is drive.google.com, like this, drive.google.com, like that. Then it should go to a Google Drive account. And over here it says new, all right? So I'll say new, and we'll go to Sheets. And if you click on the arrow by Sheets, just make sure you say blank. If you don't click on the arrow and click on the name, you'll get this, all right? Here's the document name. Anytime you want to, you can go up here and you can type something else. I'll call this Unit 5 Overview, but you call it whatever you want to if you want to name it. Of course, we're just playing around with this document, so you may not need to save it. Anyway, I made a new spreadsheet in Google Sheets. Let's enter some basic formulas. Remember, a formula is an equation that's going to calculate something and show you what it turned out to be. So it's going to do all your math work for you. It's a nice tool to have. All formulas start with an equal sign. All right, let's talk about the operator kind first. We've used it a couple times. We're going to use a couple more. All right, you have an equal sign to tell that you're doing a formula. Then you say what cell you want. The operator means the symbol that tells you what you're going to do with these two cells, and then whatever the next cell is. So for example, if I said equals A1 plus A2, computer, there we go. So that's going to add A1 and A2. If I say equals B5 slash, which means divide, B6, that's going to give me equals B5 divided by B6, okay? So I'm going to say, let's say 5 and 5. All right, so if I say equals A1 plus A2, 5 plus 5 is what? All right, so this formula gives us A1 plus A2. 5 plus 5 equals 10. What's going to say if I A1 divided by A2? Hopefully some of you know that. All right, any guesses? That's going to give us 1. You may notice while I'm typing, Google Sheets loves to enthusiastically give us the answer before we even say enter, so that's kind of fun. A little different from Excel. Yeah. Anyway, all right, so equals A1 times lowercase, capital doesn't matter, right? A2, luckily that's the same as Excel. You get the idea, okay? If you want to be really crazy, you can say A1 and then shift 6, which means to the power of. If you've ever done exponents in math class, some of you have, some of you haven't. 5 to the power of 5 gives us 3,125. Too much information? That's okay. All right, let's keep talking. So functions, this is the kind you guys are more familiar with because sum is a function, okay? So if I say equal sign and the name of my function and say, shift 9 for parentheses, and then from here to here, okay, from whatever to whatever. Let's say I've got a lot of numbers in here, all right, and then I'm going to say equals, look at this. Google Sheets guesses right away before you even start typing. Do you want this one? Do you want this one? Those might be the more popular ones. Boy, will that save you some work. It's like using AutoSum in Excel without having to click AutoSum. But important, just like AutoSum guesses wrong, Google Sheets is going to guess wrong. So it's very important you still understand how these work, okay? So I'll go ahead and say equal sum. I'll do it the long way, okay? Equal sum from A1 to A6. And you've done this countless times in class, right? If you remember back from before March 18th, then we've done this several times this year, right? So let's try one of those other ones. Equals, it gives us average. We'll click it, enter. So the average of all these numbers in A1 to A6 is 12.3333. Notice how there's an orange group of cells here, and there's an orange box around the numbers I typed. Okay, so if you're not sure where A1 to A6 is, that orange box might help you out. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Let's slow down. All right, try a few more like that. Let's try this weird function called count. Okay, let's see, equals, C-O-U-N-T, A1 to A6. You can still click if you want to do it that way like we did in class. So I'll click and drag down to A6 and let go and say enter. Count is 6. Wonder what that does. We're going to talk a little bit about that, of course, but anywho, that's how it works. So equal sign first to tell it you're doing a formula, then the name of whatever function you want to do. Then inside the parentheses, you're going to put a range. This range is B5 to B9. So all the numbers from B5 down to B9, okay, so B6, B7, and B8, those are all going to get summed up. And that's how these work. All right, so here are a whole bunch of ones we can go through, and if you want me to make another video to go through these to practice, that's fine, but you're going to get a ton of practice, so let me know if you want to do these, okay? I'm going to skip them for now to make this video as short as we can, all right? Let's try out some new ones. Let's talk about min and max. Minimum, maximum, what do those words mean? Well, I'm just going to say equals min of the range up there. Did I just type over a I sure did. Oops. Equals min of the range up there. I'm going to zoom in in case that helps anyone see better. One way to zoom is to go to the percent at the top here. Another way to do it, if you've got, let's see, a Mac. Let's see if I remember this. Okay, now I'm just wasting your time. I'll get back to you on that. Okay, equals minimum, shift 9 for the range, and I'm going to go 5 down to A1 to A6. If you don't want to click it, you can type A1 colon A6, right? Enter. So where'd the 4 come from? Well, look at the numbers here. What is the smallest out of all these numbers? That's all min does. Min and max just tell you the smallest. Here, if I have A1 to A3, A1's 10, A2's 20, A3's 30, it's going to tell you the smallest, which is, oh gosh, I'm sorry, it says max. I forgot we have both on the same page. The minimum is 10. The maximum means the biggest. Let's try it. Equals MAX, A1 to A6, right? Enter. So the biggest number in A1 to A6 is 43. Now, whatever numbers you've typed, of course, you might see different ones. That's good if you have different ones than I do. Make sure they're all different, and you should see min and max working, okay? Again, I'm going to save you some time on this. I want to keep the video short. So ask me if you want to do more of this kind of stuff, okay? I'll be sending you practice things that will probably work just as well. All right, count. What does count do? When I said equals count earlier, that's going to, here, I'm going to do it down here. I'll show you why. Count A1 to A9. I jumped down a little bit, right? 6 what? Oh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I've got 6 cells that have stuff in them. So like if I type something in here, what do you think is going to happen? Let's try 10. Ah, so that's what count's doing. It's counting the numbers. Does it count letters? No. So if I type, hi there, okay, it's not going to count labels. Good to know, all right? So count doesn't count letters and labels. It doesn't count things you can't measure, all right? So if I count A1 to A3, A1's empty, A2's got a number, A3's got a number, it's going to give me 2, right? And again, I'm going to spare you on all those. Let's see what count A does. As I remember, this might be really different between Excel and Sheets. Let's see what happens. I'm going to say double click to edit the formula I already typed, okay? And I'm just going to say count A and see what happens. 7. Okay, so it looks like it's doing the same thing as count so far. But what if I type a label? Okay, so it's also going to count letters. Does it count weird symbol stuff? Like I'll put a bullet and a check mark and how about, let's see if I remember how to do an apple. No, it's a degree sign. It's one of these. There's a delta, there's a degrees. Okay, I can't find it. Enter. Yeah, it counts those too. So if you just put weird symbols in there, it's just going to count anything in the cell. So count A just means, is it blank or is it empty? Any questions, let me know. I'm not going to do all the examples below. That rhymed. Average, of course, means you add all the numbers up and you divide by however many you added, right? Average is like a way of looking at all the numbers together. Okay, I'll go ahead and say A1 to A9. So the average of those numbers is 12. Looks like it's ignoring these, right? Let's delete it. Does it change? Nope. Does it change? Nope. So it's only going to look at the numbers, all right? The average of all these numbers, like the middle of all the numbers kind of, is 12. If you're confused by average, don't worry, because we're not going to use a whole bunch. Just make sure you know how to put it in there. Today and now, here's some weird ones. Let's just go over here and say equals today, shift 9, shift 0. Cool. So you can probably guess if I go back in tomorrow, is that going to say April 10th? I'll let you try it out. All right, anyway, equals now. Well, it's almost the same thing. It's just going to stick the time in there too. I can't see the time, so I'm going to make the column wider, which you guys all know how to do, right? Okay, so there's today and now. Please try that on your own. How about autocomplete? And well, you saw that. Anytime you type the equal sign, it's going to start guessing. Just ignore the guesses if it's not what you want. Like when I did count, equals, look, it says average and sum. I don't want average or sum. I want count. That's okay. I can just keep typing and pretend everything's going well, okay? That's what this page is saying. Autocomplete. We've talked about autocomplete, right? That's old stuff. Build it by pointing. Let's say I want to add that one plus click on that one plus click on that one, which is technically a value, right? And say enter. So all those added together is April 26th. Whew, weird, right? Let's see what number that would really be if it wasn't a date. I'm going to format the number as a number. Looks like it's 43,947, if you wanted to know that. If you didn't, it's extra. Point is, you can say equals and start clicking. If you do it by accident, it's still going to build a formula. So make sure you say escape to cancel it, or enter to keep it, just like class. You can also say tab to keep it, just like Excel, okay, just like you know. When you copy a formula, it's going to automatically change the stuff inside. See, it says average A1, A9. If I autofill the formula, you already know, this says average B1 to B9, right? There's nothing in B1 to B9. Let's stick some numbers in there real quick. There we go. All right, so again, if I copy, it's going to do the same thing as autofill. I'll also go over here and say Command-V, paste, and look, average B1 to B9. So it changed A1, A9 to B1, B9, which might be helpful, right? If you've got a whole bunch of averages, you can autofill them all. It'll save you a lot of time. You can copy and paste them all. It'll save you time too. Using built-in functions. Oh, so there was a ribbon in Excel. We don't have that ribbon in Google. So if you're not sure what you're looking for, it might be a little harder. But if I go to Format, I lied, Insert, Function. Here we go. So you can find a whole bunch of weird functions in here. Should find a couple weird ones and post on Google Classroom what you found and whether you thought it was useful or not and what it did, if you can tell what it did. Otherwise, I'll let you know if you're curious. Looking for weird functions is fun and part of our class, but it'll be awkward for me because we're not together. That's okay. We're together, right? Just virtually. Formulas ribbon. So that was what I was talking about, that formula ribbon at the top. So make sure you know how to build addition and subtraction formulas, right? You type the equals and a plus something, add the two cells together and try it out now and ask me questions if it didn't make sense. All right? So push pause, try it out. And we're back. Multiplication and division, it's the same kind of thing. Equals cell times cell, or equals divide, cell divided by cell. All right? You can ignore that thing about the percent. We're probably not going to get to talk about percents much because of the virtual thing. So go ahead and pause. Try equals something times something equals something divided by something. I'll do it too. I'll say equals 78 divided by 4. Enter. And you don't have to click them. You can say equals B5 divided by about A7. There we go. Okay, so either way, just go ahead and try it out. Ask me questions if it's not working for you. The increased decimal and decreased decimal will be important for a couple things, so let's just talk about that real quick. If I've got some values, only works for values, okay, and I want to add some more decimals on there, I want them all in one decimal place. You may have seen this in the space spreadsheet that we did. I don't know if that rings a bell or not. It was a while ago, huh? Oh, look, my equals now just changed because the minute changed. It's weird. All right, so increased decimals, decreased decimals, that's where those buttons are. Try it out real quick. All right. A line break. Line breaks are really simple. Sometimes, especially if you have a big cell, I'll make a big cell real quick. Okay, so here is a big cell. You already know about text wrapping and how if you've got something really long, you can make it go to the next line. But if I want to push it down there like myself instead of Excel deciding when, I can say Alt-Enter on a Mac, and I think I think it works like that in Windows. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll let you know what it is in Windows. Here is a cell. Or you can go to that Microsoft site and try it out yourself, because you guys know how to look for skills yourself. Although you don't have your bookmarks anymore, so that'll be awkward. But don't worry, just ask me and I'll send the link. Line break, expand. Yep, okay. So here's all the stuff we're probably going to be skipping. Not just because there's not much time anymore, but because we don't have Excel, and it's so different in Google Sheets that I figured it's probably better if we just focus on the formulas, if that's all right. If you want to know about these, let me know in your own time, and I will get back to you. All right. So there's margins. We skipped that. We skipped that. Skipped that, and that, and that. Oh, not that. Oh, I hope this works. I'm going to try it. Dunk. It works. Awesome. So on a Mac or on Windows, if you hold the Control button and find the squiggly thing called a tilde, it's usually by 1 at the top under Escape. See if you can find that. That shows you all your formulas all together. If you've got a bunch of formulas in your document, sometimes it's easy to lose track of what you were doing. So Control tilde quickly changes them all to whatever you typed. Okay, and then you can see what's going on pretty quickly. And then Control tilde to go back will hide all the formulas and show them what they're supposed to calculate. Go ahead and try that. Make sure you got some formulas on your sheet and hit Control tilde and just see how it works. Hit Control tilde again to hide them, and good luck. Okay, and I guess that slide says walks by. I just meant to pause the video and forgot to change that one. All right, so Shift 6 is exponentiation. Let's review the rest. So Shift 8 means times. Good job. So that's multiplication. The slash means we're going to divide. Good. Okay. The plus sign, of course, means you know what that means. We're going to add the two numbers together. And then if you have a minus between two cells, it's going to yeah. Okay. Good job, guys. Subtract. How about the syntax for the function kind of formulas? Well, you got the equal sign, right? That just tells you you're going to do a formula. You got this thing right here, sum, which is the function. Function's like the verb. It's like, what does it do? Okay. Then you got these two thingies on the edge after the function name. You got to tell it what to do the function to, which cells. Okay, that's called the range. We're going to put parentheses around it. And the inside, of course, B5 to B9. There's your range. That's what goes into the function. All right, we skipped the thing about templates, so I'm not going to put that. You can edit a formula in the formula bar. And within this cell, if you just double click it, right? We're not going to talk about orientation or horizontal pages and all that stuff, or margins. Okay, so I hope I kept it shorter this time. I hope that's a little bit easier since I did it in Google Sheets. Make sure you know these. You can try the Unit 5 Quizlet if you saw it in the Quizlet sheet. Otherwise, I'll send that before we do our quiz. But yeah, play around with plus and minus, times and divide formulas. Try some of those functions like count and average. Add, replace, and remove it. Show and hide formulas. And I think you're ready for Unit 5. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck.